Hi guys, it's Alli. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you my favorite mainstream polishes for summer 2020. So last week, as a part of a huge collab, I shared my favorite indie summer polishes for summer 2020, and I promised you guys that I would show you my mainstream favorites as well. I'm going to link last week's video in the description box for you, and if you could watch that and then go to that description box and you can see everyone else who participated and show them some love as well. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 10 of my mainstream favorite summer polishes. And I have these broken up into 3 different categories. The first one is the really, again, my favorites. These are ones, if you've been with me for a few years, you will have seen these more than once in my summer favorites. Then I'll have my, the dark horse picks. Those are going to be the ones you aren't expecting, the ones I wasn't really expecting when I was looking through my collection to see what I might like to wear this summer. And then my last 4 are going to be just some classic colors and some of those beautiful shades that we think of when we think of summertime. All right, so let's get started. So first up, we have Orly's Glowstick. This is probably always going to be one of my favorite summer polishes. This formula is atrocious, so I just want to get that out there. But this is this green toned highlighter neon yellow. And it takes 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 coats to get it completely opaque. I think if you were able to get the new Orly brush and put it in here, it would probably take you a solid 3, possibly 4 coats. The formula is not great on this. I'm not gonna, front or anything. But a really, really close alternative to Glowstick is one that I just reviewed in the Orly Retro Wave collection, and that is Oh Snap. I mean, probably on camera they're not going to look very different at all, and in person I can tell a difference, meaning that Glowstick has a little bit more green in it than Oh Snap, but the brush and formula on Oh Snap are significantly better to me than Glowstick. So if you don't have either of these, I would tell you to go for Oh Snap. Now, I prefer Glowstick as a color because I was always one of those people who liked the green toned highlighters, like the actual highlighters, but the yellow color that was more green toned, I preferred that, and that's what Glowstick reminds me of. So my preference between the two in terms of color is definitely Glowstick. There's not that big of a difference in color, so I would go for Oh Snap if you're wanting something better formula-wise. All right, and number 2, we have Life's a Beach. This is also by Orly, and this is a traffic cone neon orange. The camera here and the live swatch is not going to do this justice at all. And also, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. I apologize for my live swatches. My lighting, I used the wrong light. Lighting is completely off and washed out in all of the live swatches. I apologize for that. I will correct that in the future, but yeah, so back to Life's a Beach. This is also one of those shades that I just can't get enough of. It is the most eye-searing orange neon polish, and you just don't see these from mainstream brands done really well. This one requires between 2 and 3 coats for opacity. I think mine might have thickened up over time to become like a 2 to 3 coater. It used to be a solid 3 coater for me. But yeah, a first thick coat, and then I was able to just put a second over on top, and it was easily opaque. So that's really nice, really surprising. But yeah, I just love these super, super, super bright eye-searing neons. And the last of the really, again, favorites is Blazing Sunset. If you know anything about me, you knew this was coming. I love this polish. It is one of my all-time favorite polishes, and I am not a pink polish person. So this is just the hottest, most eye-searing neon pink. It is so beautiful. It just pops against probably every skin tone there is, definitely against darker skin tone. It's gonna look fabulous. This requires 2 to 3 coats for opacity, similar to Life's a Beach. The formula itself seems to have thickened up, and I actually have a second bottle on my shelf, and I've opened both of them. So I'm not sure which one I bought first, but I've had both of them for a couple of years now, if not a few years. Actually, it might have been a few years by now. But yeah, the formula on this one has thickened up a little bit. It used to be a solid 3+ coater, and to me now it's like a 2 to 3 coater, so that's good. But another one that I just can't get enough of. And actually, I've had a few people comment various places to me and tell me that they bought Blazing Sunset and loved it just as much as I do. So if you don't have this one and you think you might be possibly interested in a neon pink, pick it up, honey. All right, and kicking off the dark horse favorites, I have Lorna. This is by Zoya. Lorna is what I would describe as this berry base with a magenta sugary sparkle. That's the best way that I can describe it. It takes between 2 and 3 coats for opacity, and the reason why this made my favorites this time is because it's simply gorgeous when it plays against the light. All of that sugary sparkle, and I could have picked like any pixie dust polish, really. I just really like this magenta in the sunlight. It's just something, it just looks like it dances in the sunlight, and I really like it. So yeah, another beautiful, 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 but because of the base, it was kind of like a dark horse pick for me. The second dark horse pick is going to be Going Guru, and this is by Essie. This was extremely hard to think of a good description of, but I would call this like a cross between a light fern and sage green. It's very light, almost like new growth on a plant light. It requires between 2 to 3 coats for opacity. This is the old Essie brush. It's not a very good brush. If you can get the newer Essie brush and put it in here, I am solid. I mean, I feel pretty good about the chances of it being a solid 2 coater. I feel really good about that. So I don't think the formula itself is necessarily the worst. It's not a great formula. It's not a terrible formula. I think with a better brush, you can easily get it opaque in too, though. Oh, and this is a dark horse favorite because of the color. So usually I would put this in like a spring favorites, but there was something, because I think I started my more extensive indoor garden this year, this color just reminded me of that new growth, like on philodendrons, the new growth, it just sprouts out on the vine. This reminded me a lot of that, and so that's why it made my favorites. Okay, and our last dark horse pick is Let's Talk by Sinful Colors. Could have probably put this one in my really again favorites because it's not so much a dark horse pick for me because I've been loving it for summertime forever, but it is a darker color, and I think you more so think of these for fall, even holiday, but I love it for the summer. This is like just this intense, incredibly vibrant, cool toned purple, and it does have a little bit of a, in some lights, bluey kind of flash to it. It's really, really beautiful. This one requires 2 coats for opacity, and the reason why this is kind of a dark horse, again, because of the base, how deep it is, but I love it for the summer for the same reason that I mentioned with Zoya. There's something about this polish when it hits the sun that just gets so intense, and you really only get that effect in that bright, sort of everlasting summer sunlight. All right, and the first of our more classic picks for summer 2020, I have Peace, Love, and Polish. This is another one that has made favorites in the past. This is what I would describe as like this mid-toned, almost bubblegum, almost corally bright pink. It feels a little bit warmer due to this dispersed, really fine gold shimmer in there. The gold shimmer isn't super duper apparent. It's not so little that I would call it subtle, but it's not super apparent either, somewhere in between. This requires 2 coats for opacity, and it's just one of my favorite all-time pink shades. I have probably 3 or 4, I'd say 4 pinks that I really enjoy wearing, and that's pretty much it. And this is one of the 4. The next of our classic picks is Check Your Baggage, and this is by Essie. This is like this craft American cheese yellow cream. It requires 2 coats for opacity. This does have the new brush in it and makes applying dreamy, very easy. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous polish on the nails, and just to me one of those bright yet slightly muted shades that just is perfect for the summer. Next, we have one that I'm gonna have a review on sometime this week, so be on the lookout for that. This is Zoya's Harbor. This is this beautiful oceany turquoise color, and it requires about 2 coats for opacity. I love any kind of turquoise or teal for the summertime, especially these oceany type colors. They just remind me of the beach, and so very easily this had to be in there. And I have a feeling that this is probably going to be one of my all-time favorite Zoya polishes. It just has that color and a great formula. And our last pick is another one that if you followed me for years, you will have seen this many times. This is kind of like the polish that started it all. Not really. So, quick backstory. When I was in college, I think it was my freshman or sophomore year. I can't remember which year. I think my sophomore year. I purchased my first couple of polishes. They were both Sally Hansen, drugstore, really cheap polishes. My roommate had this beauty, and I think it was this. It was either this or a purple. I can't remember what, but it was a China glaze. It was super bright, super in your face, and I just loved it. And I went to Ulta and I found this, and I had to have it. I bought it, and then I was down the rabbit hole. Because my first couple polishes were like pink and like a pinky purple, and that is not me. That's just not me. But blues, greens, purples, intense colors, that's what I love. And so Frostbite is kind of what I call the polish that started it all. This is just a beautiful sapphire-y type of shimmer, and it's perfect really for any time of the year, as most of these polishes are. Wear what you want to when you want to. But I love this for the summer for the same reason as Let's Talk by Sinful Colors. It's such a bright color, and it's so intense. The summer sun just does something to it, just makes it really, really special. And so that rounds out my top 10. So those are the 10 picks. I would love to hear your thoughts on the 10 that I showed you today. And also, if you haven't already, I'd love to hear what you're wearing for the summertime. You can leave that in the comment section below the video. And as I mentioned, this week I will have my review of Zoya's Splash collection for summer 2020. And I'd love to see you guys there. So I will see you guys in the next video very soon.